Is Proton VPN a good VPN? Well, UK VPN downloads surged 1,400% after Online Safety Act H checks took effect in July 2025, with Proton VPN overtaking ChatGPT as Apple's top free app. So that should tell you something about Proton VPN, the same company that created Proton Mail, which is arguably one of the safest, if not the safest, mail service out there. At least one of the safest commercial mail services out there. Now, if you're not familiar with the Online Safety Act, it's a law enforced by Ofcom, and it essentially compels users on platforms like X, Reddit, Discord, TikTok to verify their ages via ID checks or biometrics to protect, quote unquote, protect minors from harmful content. Obviously, this is being used as an excuse to collect information on everybody, and it's a massive breach in privacy and anonymity online. So imagine having to basically not only show your ID when you go to the bar, but you also have to give them a copy of your ID, a fingerprint of yours, and a face scan of yours. And not just at the bar, but at the supermarket, at the mom and pop shop, at the donut shop, at the coffee shop, at the airport. You have to do it everywhere. Imagine that. So this is what the Online Safety Act proposes, essentially, and enforces, rather. It's not a proposition. So the question is Proton VPN a good VPN? In short, absolutely. It is hands down one of the best VPNs out there. They make moves that are very focused on privacy and security and the integrity of their users' anonymity. So because of legal uncertainty around Swiss government proposals to introduce mass surveillance, just like the UK, proposals that have been outlawed in the EU, Proton is moving most of its physical server infrastructure out of Switzerland, and Lumo will be the first product to move. Lumo is the privacy AI assistant created by Proton VPN. Not to mention that Proton VPN has a true no-logs policy. You'll see most VPNs claiming a no-logs policy, but once you look into it, you'll notice that it's all a sham. It's a complete lie, and it's just a marketing tactic. But truly, it really isn't that with Proton VPN. Proton VPN constantly audits their service, and they show so much evidence that they truly do not collect or retain any of your personal data. And they keep conducting yearly independent audits that prove that they do not collect any of your data, and they respect their user privacy. Now, if you're not familiar with what an independent audit is, it's essentially a comprehensive assessment of various aspects of the VPN service. This includes examining the encryption methods, logging policy, data handling procedures, and overall infrastructure. If a VPN company is comfortable enough to invite a big auditing company like Securitum to fully verify their no-logs policy and examine everything, then it's a very good sign, and it's transparency that you absolutely want to see in the VPN that you're using. And so as far as privacy, Proton VPN is absolutely one of the best VPNs out there. Now, Proton has a free version which doesn't have a data cap, which is why so many people download Proton VPN. Not only do free VPNs typically collect your information and sell it to third-party advertisers for all kinds of data collection reasons. Basically, they're collecting your information while you use the free VPN, and then they sell all that data to all kinds of data brokers and advertising companies. Very, very bad practices. Lots of shady free VPNs out there, and Proton VPN is definitely not one of those. So you can use the free version of Proton VPN. What's cool is that there's no data cap like most VPNs, so you can use it as much as you would like, but of course the speed will be capped at 2 megabytes per second, I believe, maybe a little bit less. And you will only have access to 3 countries, unlike what I have access to right here, which is all of the countries, above 100 countries. And you've got all kinds of support with these servers. So with the free version, obviously you're not going to be able to stream or torrent or anything like that. But of course, with the paid version of Proton VPN, you'll see that most of the servers support streaming and support peer-to-peer, and some servers will even support Tor in case you're a Tor user. And as far as the features, you will see the kill switch, which will kill your internet connection if the VPN disconnects unexpectedly. There's other stuff like secure core, which routes your most sensitive data through the safest servers that they have. It's kind of like double VPN from NordVPN, you could say, which routes your connection through 2 servers instead of just 1. But here, I think it works in a similar way where they route your connection through their most secured servers. NetShield is basically an ad blocker, and you have other really cool features. And I'll show you here, if you go to connection, you'll see moderate NAT. So this is super cool. With most VPNs, as soon as you connect to the VPN, it'll give you a strict NAT type, which is really bad for gaming. But with Proton VPN, you can simply switch it from strict to moderate by simply checking this option right here, which is super cool. I've never seen this option in any other VPN out there. So for the gamers out there, this is awesome. And of course, you've got other stuff like split tunneling. So the way I use split tunneling is that I always exclude Binance, because with Binance, you don't want to use a VPN. You can't really use a VPN with Binance. And so what I do is I always exclude it. This is on my phone, by the way, which is why you don't see Binance here. But I exclude Binance so that I don't have to log into Binance from a different IP address, but my phone is still protected essentially by the VPN. So split tunneling will allow you to choose which applications you'd like to route through the VPN while the rest of your connection is outside the VPN tunnel, or the other way around, which apps you'd like to exclude from the VPN tunnel while the rest of your connection is routed inside the VPN tunnel. You get what I mean? If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. And of course, I'll leave all links to Proton if you want to check it out for yourself, including a little discount that'll help you save a little more money. So that is basically it for Proton. Proton works great for streaming. It works great for torrenting. The speeds are amazing. Plenty of server options. It is one of the most trusted companies out there, just purely by their amazing track record. The fact that they moved most of their servers from Switzerland to more privacy-friendly countries as far as data retention and so on. So is Proton a great VPN? It's absolutely amazing. And I would hands down recommend it as one of the best VPNs out there, alongside something like Express, for example. I personally like to use Express most of the time, but I do find plenty of uses for Proton VPN. They're both incredible VPNs, but today is just about Proton VPN. Either way, I'll link both in the description down below. And maybe a couple of other options like Surfshark and NordVPN, because these are also really good options. So you can feel free to pick up whichever, and I'll leave all the reviews down below. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.